Hey everybody, Karyn Bryant for MMA H.E.A.T talking with Anthony Lionheart Smith, who is facing Glover Teixeira in Florida, UFC in Jacksonville. Anthony, it's so great to see you. I'm so happy that you're back in action fighting. We're just, a couple hours before UFC 249, so I'm guessing you're getting a little more amped right now?
Yeah, I'm super pumped. I can't, I did this a little breakdown on my Instagram, just to
Yeah.
to talk about a couple of the fights I was excited about, and I couldn't even keep it at two. Like I had to just do two, but
Right.
there's so many good fights on the card. Uh, Even through this crazy pandemic, I feel just a little bit normal today.
Yeah.
Like you're excited for fights, you got something to look forward to. Like
Yeah.
I think I put jeans on today for the first time in like a month.
Nice.
Like I like showered, I put
Fight
jeans on
night,
because
right.
we got shit to do,
Exactly.
which is new. That's new for
Exactly.
me.
It's cool, but now at the same time, though, Anthony, usually right now you would have already been on the road, right? If you're fighting on Wednesday, you would have already been there. So, when are you leaving? And what are you expecting in terms of an actual kind of fight week, fight day for you guys? Fight abbreviated fight week rather.
Right. I really like it kind
Yeah.
of this, like I've always been the guy that's told the UFC, like, do I really got to be there on Tuesday before a
Right.
Saturday fight? Like, what do I really need to be there for that?
Right.
Uh, I kind of like the regional scene kind of feel where
Uh
you're
huh.
where you're showing up the day before weigh-ins, you kind of just get settled, you weigh in the next day, and then you
Right.
go fight. Like that's kind of where I live and breathe at. That's
Mm-hmm.
just comfortable for me. I don't like all the other BS anyway.
Right.
So, um, I'm actually really enjoying that. I don't have to be there until Monday.
Nice.
I think I'm the last guy to come in
Mm-hmm.
on the Wednesday fight card.
Okay.
And part of that's because I am bringing my family along with.
Oh, you are.
I'm not staying at the host hotel. I'm staying at an Airbnb. We're just kind of keeping our distance away from all that stuff. And it's a lot of that's because of the stuff that went on here at the house. I'm not comfortable leaving them here. So taking them along with, and we're gonna keep the Airbnb for an additional week, and we're just gonna, I mean, if we got to be kind of stuck doing nothing, it might as well be close to a beach, right? Or
Right.
at least see the water
Right.
in the nice weather in Florida.
Cool, cool. Yeah, no, my mom lives in Florida. My brother, I have a lot of family members down in Florida, and yeah, my mom lives right on a beach, and that definitely does help in these times, even just being able, even if she's not out there. But how does that affect you for weight cutting and everything, though? Because does that mean you'll do a little bit more at home? Or we're gonna crash this once you get to Florida. How are we gonna do that?
I'm gonna be really honest here, Karen.
Yeah.
I just ate a steak and mac and cheese from the box for lunch. Like I'm waking up at like
Oops.
208,
Good
209.
for you.
I'm super light. So
Awesome.
I think the increased conditioning that I've been doing because
Yeah.
of the change in training camp,
Yeah.
my
Okay.
weight's come really, really far down. So I haven't changed my diet.
Right.
I haven't changed anything. I've just, the conditioning went up and my kind of lean mass went down a little bit. So I'm super, I'm good. Like I'll not, I won't change anything. We'll show up Monday night. If I got a couple pounds left, I'll do
Yeah.
it Tuesday morning and we'll head out.
Cool, cool. So now, so let's talk about the camp then, because I know a lot of time you go and train with James Krause. And sometimes you are in Colorado as well, right? So what did you do for this one?
We just kind of kicked it old school.
Yeah.
I always got
In the
I got
garage, pumping iron old school?
no, just my gym here, because
Yeah,
I've always had the gym here, right? And
yeah,
the cases in the Midwest are very different than they are in California and
that's
in
true.
the East Coast. There's very little community spread,
Yeah.
especially at the beginning. Now it's starting to, I think, as the world is starting to open back up, I
Hmm.
think things are rising a little bit here.
Yeah,
Um, but for the majority of the camp, we very little community spread.
yeah,
So
that's
it
good.
was fairly easy to and we never had a stay-at-home order,
Uh huh.
but everything was so shut down, like we
Yeah,
might as well have, because nothing would have been any different
right,
because there was
right,
nowhere
right.
to go anyways.
Yeah,
Um, so the gym was closed to the public, and you really only need three or four good training partners and your
yeah,
coaches to have a training camp. So
true.
we cleaned the gym like Nazis and just stayed super super safe. We all made a promise that we
Yeah,
weren't gonna go around, and be hanging out and doing
right,
crazy stuff and being around odd people. Like if your girlfriend and your wife is who you're around, then just keep it at that,
right.
and I'll do the same. So I kept myself safe. I was the gym and home,
Hmm.
and that was really it. And we were able to stay safe.
Cool. Very cool. Well, you and I have obviously worked together over the course of the last year and stuff, and I know that your hand was something that was injured, and it was a recovery that kind of took, I guess, fair to say, longer than we thought it would, right? So,
Yeah.
How frustrating has that been? I mean, I've seen it firsthand, and I know you're frustrated. But if you could explain it to other folks, just like what you had to go through and why it's taken so long for you to be able to fight again.
Yeah, hand injuries are just part of the sport, and for some
Yeah,
guys, more so than others. And I've kind of always had some sort of issue with my hands. It's just
yeah,
kind of part of it. But then I had the second break.
hmm
That we really have no idea how it happened. It's just the plate failed
yeah,
and the bone shifted, so we had to go back in, do it again, and it was such a process. It was frustrating. I've never been out this long before
yeah.
either, so it's kind of trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do with my life. Like
Right.
I'm used to always training. That's been me since I was 17 years old. Like
Yeah.
I'm 31. Like I don't know what else to do with my time. So, I just trying to figure that part of it out
Yeah.
and trying to keep myself sane and I know that I probably drove my family crazy, like someone give this guy a job or something. Like at one point in time my wife was telling me I needed to go be a Walmart greeter just so I had something to do because I don't do well when I'm sitting idle. So that was frustrating. So I almost had to get a real job. So there was that.
Yeah.
So, but now, now we're good. It feels great. It's healthy. I'm cracking hard and then physically, I don't think I felt this good
Right.
probably since like 2013.
That's good. Right.
Just
Well,
everything's kind of healed.
I was just going to say there is that upside of that. I literally was talking to Verdum about that the other day. He's been off for 2 years. He never really stopped training. But yeah, those little injuries, those nagging things, it did give you some time to do that. And, obviously you did get some other work. We have worked together at the ESPN MMA desk and stuff, which is fun. So was the one, you, me, and Gilbert was the first one for you, right? And
Well, no, our first one was when we were at Fox
oh yeah, right. Oh yeah,
with John Jones. But
That's
the,
right
the
with
first
John
ESPN
before.
one I think I did was, that was me, you, and Rashad.
Oh,
We,
that's right. Yeah,
yeah,
so
yeah.
it's
We did a
fun.
couple with Rashad, and then we did the Gilbert one was really fun though.
It was good. It
Yeah,
was good.
Gil's a
Yeah, it's
lot of
always fun. So that is something that, and a lot of people are really enjoying you doing that. So it's nice to know, obviously, that looks like that is another career option for you because I think we have a good time when we're doing it. And it seems that the fans are already responding well to you.
Yeah. I have a lot of fun, and I think it keeps me sharp
Yeah.
in the sport for sure. Uh, and so that I think that made it a little bit easier because I still felt like on a small degree we were going through a fight week, or like
Yeah.
you just seeing the process and being
Right.
around everybody and just staying involved, so I don't feel like I'm out here left in the cold.
Exactly.
Uh,
Exactly.
it definitely helped, and God damn, it's so much fun,
It's
like
so much fun.
it is when me and you and Rashad or me, you and Gil, we're ribbing each other and it's
Totally.
it's just it's a blast and we're just constantly heckling each other and
I
just
know.
seeing the crazy finishes. It's always fun like when you see a crazy finish.
Yeah.
I'll always look for you and Rashad like separately, like, all right, there's Karyn, there's Rashad,
Totally.
and just to see your guys' reactions.
Totally.
And then it's funny because you guys are looking to see mine, so it's just
Yeah, totally.
it's fun. Yeah, it's fun.
It's so fun, and that's the thing, and you know for a fact, like as the night goes along, I'm like Anthony starts to get my adrenaline starts going as
Yeah.
we get closer and closer, and then we're pacing, and then, no, I mean it's so much fun. It's such a good time, and I think that comes through. I really do hope people understand the passion that we all do have for it, and I hope we get to go back to work soon, bro.
I know it. I know it. I think we should do like a behind the scenes camera one of these times and like see you and Rashad dancing. And one of these days, I'm like slowly getting into it.
You
One of
can
these
get it.
oh.
You can dance. You know you can dance. You got the credentials. You know you do. Hey, so listen, so obviously we were supposed to have been in Nebraska. Speaking of Rashad, and all of us were going to be there. We were all going to be in Nebraska. We were so psyched to see you pull up in a John Deere to throw down with Glover Teixeira. Like we were going to make that happen. It was going to be sick. We really got cheated on that. But we do, of course, have to talk about Glover here because this is a man who is very, very dangerous. Even though Glover is a little bit older, he didn't get into the UFC until he's a little bit older. This guy is very, very dangerous. He has submissions. He has knockouts. I was just talking to him the other day, and I use Glover as that example for a lot of people when he was fighting Ryan Bader, and you think you're winning, right? And you think you got Glover, and he's
Until you
backs
don't.
against the fence. You're like, I'm winning. Shit, I'm knocked out,
Right.
right? And
Yeah.
Ryan, we know how good Ryan is as a champion. So it's that countering, it's all of that stuff. And I know you're well aware of that, but what do you see when you look at Glover and you look at all of his skills and you think, what's the most dangerous?
When I first, well, first before I get into his skills, when I
Yeah.
look at Glover, I see a dude who I want to hang out with. Like
Right?
he is just such a cool dude.
Yeah.
And I did see a clip from your guys' interview.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, and he's just that's just him,
He's the
like
nicest
that's
guy.
the cool dude. He's just a nice guy. That's the guy that helped me in Brazil when he
That's
didn't
right.
have to. That's
Yeah.
uh and I did think, I liked it when he was, good luck.
Good
I
luck.
might catch you. I like that. Like it's fun competition
Yeah,
because
yeah,
we
yeah.
both know we're gonna go in there and try to take each other's heads off.
Right.
Like there's no secret there. But
Right.
we also don't have to be assholes in the process. Like
Right.
we're both
Right.
adult enough and man enough to be able to say, I don't have any problem with telling you that I like that dude a lot. Like that's a guy that I want to have a beer with any
Yeah,
chance
yeah,
I
yeah.
get. I'll still take your head off if you give me the opportunity.
Right.
Like,
Right.
and I'm okay with that. So it's that mutual respect that we have, and it's really refreshing because I just came off of a fight with a guy like that in Gus.
Yeah.
I would much rather, fight and try to tear each other apart and then have a drink with you afterwards and let's sit and chill and BS and I'll introduce you to my wife, I'll meet
Right.
your wife, and let's move on with our lives. But as far as Glover, and what he brings to the table,
Yeah.
I think you kind of hit it on the head. He's dangerous everywhere.
Yeah.
There's no gaping holes in Glover's game.
Right.
He's dangerous on the ground. He's a good wrestler offensively and defensively.
No.
He's a power striker. I think that my biggest advantage would probably be striking from the outside.
Okay.
I probably have a clinch advantage. He's probably more powerful than I am, just as far as pure striking power.
Okay.
Like just the raw power that he brings in his punches. I'm faster. I'm more accurate.
Yeah.
And in our jiu-jitsu games are fairly similar. He's probably better from his back,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm probably better from top.
Okay.
So, we're very well matched.
Yeah.
As much as some people
You
do
are.
want to write him off, we're very evenly matched. So I probably have the cardio advantage.
Yeah.
I think that the longer it goes, the better it is for
Mm-hmm.
me, and I think he knows that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he would probably argue that.
Yeah.
Uh, I would say most dangerous is just his ability to always be in the fight.
Yeah.
You're never safe. Even if I think Guti Laba had him hurt a couple
Yeah.
times, and he fired right back, was able to get a takedown, ended up on
Yeah.
top. Ryan Bader's a perfect example where Glover could have been out on his feet. Some refs these days might have stopped that.
They might have. Yeah, they
that
might
was
have.
some years ago. But again, Glover showed that he's never out of a fight unless he's out,
Right.
and that you got to respect that. But you also have to, you can't dwell on it too much. Like
Mm-hmm.
I got to still be me.
Mm-hmm.
And I have that killer instinct when I see somebody's hurt and I smell blood in the water,
Yeah.
and let's just hope I zig and zag when I need to.
Yeah, yeah, no, I mean, that's the thing is he's such a veteran, right? You feel like sometimes with guys like Glover, it's like he's forgotten more things than half these kids have learned already. You know what I mean? Like this guy's just been around forever, and like you said, just such a great vibe, and he is the guy that you want to hang out with after, and he has no ill intent or anything like that. He's just a good, solid dude. And I'm not trying to say this in comparison, but we know that obviously you guys are trying to get back to the top, right? And so there is a man who likes to bait you on Twitter, who likes to, talk a little smack after your home invasion. John Jones, he's the champion. He's got the strap. How realistic do you think it is that, this win over Glover puts you in a position to get back to John?
I think it does. I think it leaves me in a really good position.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna have to fight again,
Yeah.
no matter. Just because of the way the schedule's working and they got to keep the division moving. I get that. So I think that if I had to guess, I'd imagine Reyes will get the rematch.
Okay.
And I think that leaves me with Jan Blachowicz or Thiago Santos.
Yeah.
It puts me in a really good position because those two aren't going to fight each other because they just fought.
Right.
So,
you're right.
That means that one of them have to fight again, or that means they both have to fight again.
Mm-hmm.
And lucky for one of them, there's a guy that's right there. So that means whoever doesn't fight me once they get through Glover has to go down the division a little ways, and that may not look as good as it typically would to get a win.
Right.
So I think that's going to leave me in a position where those two guys are going to be, instead of like, when I wanted to fight Corey Anderson or Jan.
Yeah.
They both turned me down and decided to fight each other.
Right.
So this leaves me in a position where those two guys can't do that because they just fought.
Because they just fought.
And one of them either gets to fight the guy that's number 2.
Right.
Or the other guy has to fight someone who's like 10 or 11.
Right.
So now instead of trying to avoid me, now they're both going to try to get to me.
Well,
Because
right.
I'd be the highest rank available guy that can get them to a win.
And that makes sense because, and also because, Maheta had such a great fight with John, and you almost feel like, if anything, you could do a Dom Maheta like runoff or whatever if Dom didn't get a rematch. But the thing is with Blachowicz, even though he's been on a tear, he beat Jacare. Jacare had only just come up to 205, and even though Jacare is a big name, you could argue that Jan has to prove himself against another true 205er.
Well, and he did the same thing with Rockhold.
Right.
So like a win over Glover leaves me with I already beat Ozdemir, I beat Shogun, I lost to John,
right,
beat Gus, beat Glover.
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of leaves me with the best win streak.
I know,
at the moment.
yeah. The strength of schedule is very good. Yeah. I like it. And we don't know with Santos yet, right? We don't know exactly how far along he is yet in his recovery. I mean, but it does seem like he's a lot closer to being able to fight now than, obviously every time that goes along.
Right.
It's exciting. Do you think they are going to give Dom the rematch though?
As much as Dominic, I don't know how much. Me and Reyes had this little weird kind of thing a couple times. Then remember we brought him up on the desk, and he was fine. Like we were cool.
Right? Yeah. Right.
And it seemed okay. So I don't know if we're cool or we're not cool. I don't know yet. Like I'm trying to feel it out. Like I don't know. Like can I mess around with you or like beat us and rib you a little bit or not? But because I will. I just don't know how.
Totally.
Whether he likes it or not, I'm going to.
Totally.
It just depends on how he reacts to it.
Yeah.
I think he deserves it.
Yeah.
Okay. In my opinion.
Okay.
I also think Jan Blachowicz probably deserves the title shot as well. Yeah. I think Reyes got robbed. I do. I think he won that fight. I think that when you go through the preparation and the work that it takes to get to a title shot, go in there and you perform the way that you did against someone like John Jones, who I know is hard to perform against. Doesn't matter how good you are. John doesn't win fights because he's better than people. He wins fights because of his strategy and how he approaches them. Right. John, skill for skill, I've said this several times. If you took one skill away from him at a time and compared it to someone else's, John isn't the best at anything.
Right.
Other than his fight IQ. He's not the best striker. He's not the best wrestler. He's not the best jiu-jitsu guy. He's not the best clinch guy. It's the way he puts it together and uses his brain. Yeah. That's what makes John Jones so great. So then you go in there and you compete against someone as well as Reyes did, and then you get this crazy athletic commission that kind of screwed a bunch of people that night.
Right. To
take all that away from you, I think he deserves another crack at it. And to be honest with you, I don't think he'll beat John the second time around. That's just me. But he deserves the opportunity. He deserves his chance to get back there, in my opinion. So that's kind of how I see it. And because John is so smart,
right?
Why he won't beat him the second time?
But you say that, Anthony, and that doesn't bode well for yourself then, because if John levels up in a rematch, then what are you going to do?
That's different though, because that was the best Reyes that you're ever going to see.
Okay.
That was the best Reyes that he had. Dominick Reyes couldn't be any better than he was that night. He couldn't be perfect than he was that night.
Okay.
I was a shell of who I actually am. So really over 25 minutes, John Jones didn't get a lot out of me.
Okay.
Like he didn't see a lot. Like he was able to nullify me and someday I'll write a book and we'll tell the whole story. But
okay.
Or
we'll get back to work and I'll hear about it afterwards in the bar.
Pretty much.
After I've loosened you up with a few six packs.
Right. So, I think I got 25 minutes of data on John Jones, and I don't think he got much out of me.
Okay.
I don't think he's seen even a small percentage of what I'm capable of or what I have to offer. So I know it sounds crazy by saying Dominick won't beat him the second time around, but it's because I think he showed his whole hand, and I didn't.
And you didn't, right? Because John's ridiculously good.
Yes.
He
absolutely
really is. He really is.
But on that note, I do believe that Dominick at least deserves the opportunity. Whether we think he'll win it or not, I think that he deserves the chance. Which kind of leaves Blachowicz and now if they don't give it to Reyes,
right?
I think that's an easy run for me to go get Dominick.
Right. That'd be cool. That would be very cool. And obviously there was so much back.
And those are the two fights I want the most. Like I would love to fight Blachowicz.
Yeah.
It's not the matchup that excites me the most out of those three, though.
Hmm.
Because he's not, I don't know, he's not like the nice guy. Like, I'm not saying he's a bad guy, but like I don't know him.
Right.
He's not from the States, so you don't see him often.
Right.
He's not the most popular guy in the
Right.
division,
His
so
style is kind of meat and potatoes.
yeah.
Well, oh, did we lose you for a sec?
But you start talking Dominick Reyes and Thiago Santos, those two guys, like, the hair on my arm stands up when I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
about
yeah.
fighting those. Just how much fun it would be,
Yeah,
like, and I think the danger factor for me goes way up when it comes to Dominic and
right.
Thiago,
It
and
does.
that's what gets me out of bed in the
That's what gets
morning,
you.
like that gets my blood pumping, like that's exciting to me.
Yeah.
Blachowicz, be tough dude, really really hard fight, like you said, kind of meat and potatoes, like you know what you're gonna get,
Yeah.
it's not gonna be fun, it's not gonna be super exciting,
And it also
and
won't be easy.
it won't be easy. You're gonna have to grind one out, so
Right.
it's just not that fun.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. Well, when we talk about the fact that we mentioned this at the beginning of the interview, how John had gone back and forth with you, and some of that had stemmed from the home invasion, and I don't really want to get into all of that stuff again, but I know you and I spoke after that, and you're saying here, before that your family's coming with you to Florida. So how disruptive was that though to you and your life, between COVID and training and all of these things, and to have this whole other thing? How's the family doing right now?
Oh, they're good. They're
Yeah.
good. They're I mean, they're tough. They're tough. They were tough that night. They're still tough now, and there's residual stuff that you have to deal with.
Yeah.
And going through all that stuff, and got them talking to people, and I think as parents sometimes you just have to back off and
Right.
let the experts kind of handle that, and they're gonna work it out one way or the other. They don't have a choice, and I
Yeah.
think that's part of me and my wife's philosophy. Like you don't have a choice. Like
Hmm.
you got to figure it out.
Right.
But at the same time, they are kids, and you got to let them do it at their own pace. So
Right.
everyone's good though. Everyone's safe. They're excited to come to Florida. I think.
Good.
I think we're just excited to see something different. Just been
Totally.
seeing the same four walls for
Totally.
like 6 weeks now. So,
Yeah.
and I'm not used to being, especially in this part of camp. I'm not used to being in the same place for very long.
Right. Right. Right.
So I'm used to bouncing around. So I'm excited to get out there Monday and get some sun. The
Yes.
Nebraska weather typically is really nice right now, but it's just rainy all the time and cloudy. It's just like the weather matches the world's attitude.
Right.
So I'm trying to get some sun. That's what I'm trying to do. Oh,
Nice.
you're gonna
Well, I do.
disappointed. My tan is not good right now.
No, you're saying no. Mine
It's
is.
not
I've been
good.
jumping rope out of my back patio, but I haven't really gotten like a full tan or anything like. And it's all spotty because like one day you're in tank top, one day you're in shorts, one day you're in
Yeah,
this. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah,
yeah,
it's not good.
yeah. My
It's not.
black side is not happy with me right now. It's not happy. We got to keep the. I got to sit on my wallet all the time so no one takes my black card.
No, yeah, totally.
No one's gonna believe it.
Nobody's gonna believe it. You got to keep posting those throwback pictures, and everyone's like,
I
"Wait a
know.
minute,
Yeah,
what?" Mind blown. Hey,
people are blown away.
yeah, totally, totally. Did you see? How do you feel about that swab test, though? I mean, everybody's been posting it. Are you ready for that?
Yeah, I'm actually excited to get tested. I really
Okay.
am. Like the process looks like it's not very fun and getting your brain tickled.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, but I'm like interested. I think it's cool that they're doing the antibody test too.
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
so I'm kind of interested. Like I think everyone's had a moment in the last 6 months or so where they're like, man, I was really really sick and I don't know
Right,
what happened. So like everyone's curious. Like,
right.
what, have I had it? Have I been in contact with
Yeah,
it
yeah,
before?
yeah,
How long has this really been here? So that's cool.
yeah,
Uh, but now I'm really paranoid. Like I wasn't until I started seeing all the tests.
yeah,
Like I'm not really wanting to fly. Like I don't even want to check the mail. Like you
yeah.
walk outside and you see someone walking out, you're like, nah, I'll wait.
Nah, I'm
like,
good. I
like
know,
I
I
just
know.
want to risk it. I made it this far.
You made it this
It's been
far.
okay. I made it this far. I didn't come this far to only come this far. So
Right.
like I'm really shutting myself down and it's just trying to stay safe
Yeah,
and just
yeah.
I don't not that I ever want to get it, but I definitely don't want
No,
to get it like 4 days before I fight.
I know.
That would suck.
That would suck. No, you'll be all right. And I, I've not been tested either. But with all the travel we've done over the last year and stuff like that, I feel like we've come into contact with a lot of different germs. I feel like knock wood. Hopefully our immunity's high.
Right.
Just from all that exposure. Yeah, yeah. I feel so bad for Jacare. My God,
Oh my God, I'm gutted for him. I'm
terrible.
gutted because he made it so close.
So
Like
close.
so close to your goal, and
Yep.
I know how hard it's been, even here in Nebraska, where like it's been fairly simple to stay within the guidelines for the most part
Yeah,
and
yeah.
do the right thing. Like and it's nowhere near as bad as it was, where Jacare lives, or in
Right,
California,
right, right.
or the Northeast. It's impossible for some of these guys to do anything. So
Sucks.
it's just I feel bad for him. He's another one of those good guys that, like, just a good dude,
He's a
you
great
know.
dude. He's a
Yeah,
great
just a
dude.
good dude. So it's not that I want it to happen to a bad guy,
Right,
like someone who's not a cool dude, but
right, 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 right.
it just bothers you more when it's someone that you like a lot.
Yep. Absolutely, absolutely. Well, we are psyched that you're back in action. I know you and Glover are going to put on such a good fight, and I'm happy to see you back in action. I know, just over the time, like how you've been wanting to get back, and the hand has just been holding you back. So I'm happy to see you just like doing what you're supposed to be doing again. But enjoy the fights tonight. A couple hours they kick off, and I don't know, Anthony. I hope we get to work together again soon. I hope we get back at
I
the
know.
desk, because that's good times, and I just
I know. I
miss
hope we still have a
routine.
job. I
You
hope.
know,
I hope. I hope we still have a job.
I
That's
know.
for sure. We need something to do. All
Totally.
right. Well, you take care. You and your family stay safe. Tell
All
Wade I
right.
said hey.
Yep.
Tell him I said go Nebraska.
Okay.
Remind him of that. And you guys take care of yourself.
All right, Anthony. Thanks so much. Have fun in Florida.
I will. Take care.
See ya.